Retro gaming. What does that mean to you? Everyone has some type of experience with old video games. Maybe you played one, watch someone else play one, found a dusty copy at a thrift store. While video games have evolved into one of the most dominant forms of media, a lot of people still look back at what we once had. What's impressive today might have been considered charming and simple back then. The retro gaming community is huge and it's still thriving. In fact, many people prefer it over modern day gaming. Why is that? Well, there are a lot of reasons, and that's what I'm going to go into today. When you pick up an Xbox Series X, what do you get? A bland title card followed by a generic menu full of ads, free-to-play games, and subscription offers. But back in 2005, when you booted up an Xbox 360, you got a colorful, welcoming dashboard, something that you wanted to explore. And going into the settings was a lot easier than going into the settings of an Xbox Series X. It was just simpler, and that's what makes retro consoles so appealing. Let's use the Wii and the Switch in this example. The Switch has a clean UI, sure, but it's bland. The Wii's interface was straightforward and full of character. Every program has a Wii channel, and clicking one played a little jingle. It had soul. Sidetracking, the 3DS, which was before the Switch, had fully customizable themes, and you could use a different color if you didn't want to pay for the themes. But the Switch, all they have is black and white. And it's not just about the looks of things, because functionality wise, the Switch UI and the Xbox UI and even the PS5 UI work phenomenal. But they have no soul, they have no personality, they feel corporate. The old ones felt like they wanted you to have fun. The Xbox 360 and Wii had their own avatars. The Xbox 360 had avatars and the Wii had Miis. And they weren't just icons, they were baked into the experience. You see them in games, on your menu, and your friends list. They made the console feel like yours. But nowadays, Miis aren't even in the new Mario Kart game, and Xbox avatars have been long gone. The same goes for the consoles itself. The GameCube, it looks like a lunchbox, you know? It just looks like a giant box of fun. Like, if I saw that on a store shelf, I'd probably want to buy it. The Xbox Series X is just a brick. It's just a brick. The controllers used to take risks. The N64 had a 3-prong controller. You know, the GameCube had the orbit layout, and the Wii Remote had that vertical design. And the Duke was weird, but it was memorable on the original Xbox. Now every controller is pretty much the same. You could argue about the Joy-Cons all you want, but if you put the Joy-Cons in the grip, they are functionality the same as an Xbox controller. The point I'm trying to get across here is that retro consoles had charm. They weren't just game-playing machines like they are now. They had a personality, other stuff to do, personalization, and modern consoles don't have that. Have you tried downloading a game on the Xbox store lately? I'm guessing it probably had battle passes, lag, microtransactions, limited content. Sounds pretty familiar. Let's take two games made by the exact same developer in these two different time periods, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 6. Black Ops 2 had no battle passes, had some lag, but it's minimal, no microtransactions, and tons of content even before you buy the DLC. But Black Ops 6, that was released just last year, it's the total opposite. Even Minecraft, a game known for its simplicity and creativity, now bombards you with microtransactions. And sure, 360 players had to buy skin packs, but it wasn't shoved in your face like Minecoins pretty much are today. And then there's Fortnite, arguably the face of modern gaming. It's built around microtransactions, and I would know because I've probably spent about thousands of dollars on Fortnite. Xbox Live Arcade, an entire storefront filled with old classics, indie gems, and arcade games at all budget prices. Castle Crashers, Battle Block Theater, Peggle, Feeding Frenzy. They weren't just filler titles, they were gaming experiences. But now, if you look at the Nintendo Switch eShop, it's full of shovelware, AI-generated garbage, and even adult content on what's supposed to be the most family-friendly console. And while yes, the Wii had its fair share of shovelware, and it's not fair to, out the Switch for that, the Wii didn't have porn on it. Console wars, something of the past generation. If you bring them up nowadays, you're going to be looked at like you're a 5th grader. But they had purpose in this generation. I mean, Xbox had Halos, Gears of War, Forza, PlayStation had Ape Escape, Killzone, The Last of Us. People used to argue over which one was better, and while some saw it as immature even back then, the competition drove both sides to make better games and keep improving and exceeding the standard. Nowadays, everything just ends up on PC. Retro consoles felt magical. Modern gaming can be immersive, sure, but back then it wasn't about hyper-realism or cinematic storylines. It was about fun. If we just order games by today's standards, Minecraft would have never taken off. Ocarina of Time, a game often called the greatest of all time, doesn't look great by today's standards. But it doesn't matter, because back then, fun was the standard. Yeah, it's fair for expectations to rise. Technology moves forward, but we shouldn't forget where gaming comes from. Games didn't need Ultra HD textures or complex progression systems to be great. They just had to be fun. And while time keeps moving and games keep evolving, we shouldn't lose sight of that. Consoles like the Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360 are almost 20 years old. Might not feel like it, but we're getting further and further away from that golden age. By remembering what made those games and consoles so special, maybe we can push the future of gaming in a better direction. One where it's not just about profit or graphics or chasing trends. One where it's about fun again. Post-editing Gabe here. Hi, what's up? Thank you for watching. I normally don't have motivation to do these types of videos, so I finally did one. Yeah, that's right. So thank you guys for watching. If you watch this far, make sure to subscribe and stick around for more content like this. See you guys.